Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I am your girl, Kandi Washington. And before we dive into the latest Real Housewives of Atlanta scoop, be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live and spill the tea. Also, be sure to share this with a friend, because a kiki is always better with community. You can give back by hitting that super thanks and by checking out all of the links in the description box. So, with that, let's dive right on in. So, as you guys may have known, I skipped this season of Real Housewives of Atlanta. After Portia and everything, it has left a really bad taste in my mouth, so I skipped the season. However, I did want to jump on and talk about, what Kandi said about Carlos King. Shout out to House of Aaron. Kandi Burruss was doing a YouTube press tour the other day, where she went and she was interviewed by a bunch of different YouTube content creators. And House of Aaron, asked her about the alleged but now confirmed beef with Carlos King. Now, we all know that there had been a rumor that the reason why Kandi and Carlos were beefing was because Carlos was actually the one behind the um, rumors that Phaedra leaked or, kind of, planted the seed in Portia's head about the whole, Kandi and Todd were going to drug Portia and bring her down to their sex dungeon and do things to her, which we all know is not true, which we all know was completely made up, and which we all know was bogus, right? So, sort of on the rumor mill was that Carlos King was the producer that sort of planted that rumor with Phaedra, and then Phaedra was the one who planted that rumor with Portia. And then we saw everything blow up, Faye got fired, and X, Y, and Z, right? But now Kandi is coming out and saying the reason why there is a beef with her and Carlos is because Carlos tried to do a dirty deal, tried to steal the life rights of her group Escape behind her back and sell it to TV1. So you might be thinking, well, how could Carlos King, get the life rights to Escape unless they sell them, unless they give them? But she was saying how because she's a public figure, you can do like an unauthorized bio, you can do an unauthorized expose. They had done one for called Unsung, I think for I forgot what network she said, but it was called Unsung. So there was a lot of information out there. But Candy's real problem was, hey, Carlos, like I went to bat for you. When she had her spinoff, I think one of her very first spinoffs, she really fought to get Carlos the executive producer credit, the executive producer role. So she's like, I fought for you to get, your come up, to get your due, to get your flowers in this industry. And then you go behind my back and try to steal the rights to my story, to my bandmate story, to my group story, Escape, and that's just dirty. Carlos and Kandi had known each other for years. He had been a producer on The Real Housewives of New Jersey, maybe even New York, I'm not sure, but I know New Jersey for sure, and definitely Atlanta. She also said that Todd and Carlos had done some dealings. They kind of had a little bit of a beef, but they were squashing it, keeping it professional, and keeping it popping and pushing. And so she's basically like, you've been in my face for years. We've worked personally and we've worked professionally. And not only that, but I really went to bat for you. I really advocated for you. And you're going to go behind my back to like scoop the life story of my group and try and sell it. And she only found out because she was shopping it around, her and the group, to see if there was interest. And one of the executives, I believe at TV1, was like, oh, well, or it was either an executive or a director who was like, oh, well, somebody already pitched this to me that's already like in the works. And she was like, what? And it turned out it was Carlos King. And what made it even grimier was don't bring mamas into the situation. Don't bring mothers into the mess, but Carlos King did. So they're saying that it was either Carlos King or someone on his team sort of, called up Mama Joyce and was fronting like, oh, we're doing this, documentary. We're doing this story about, people growing up in fame, people growing up with girl groups. We would love to talk to you and like pick your brain and hear about, Candace's experiences, the experience with Escape, blah, 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 blah. But it was really under the guise of that. But what they really were doing was they wanted to use Mama Joyce to get exclusive content, to get the stories, to get all that they could then go and use in their own movie that they were going to do about Escape. So they were basically trying to do like the okey doke, like, oh, we want to talk to you because we're doing this project. But secretly, it was because they were going behind Kandi's back and the rest of her bandmates' back for Escape, trying to scoop their life story. Now, first of all, we all know Kandi's about her business and Kandi's about her money. So I do not think Kandi would say this publicly if it was not true. I believe Kandi 100%. 100%. I think she's telling the truth. I think that Carlos King was being really grimy. He was trying to go behind her back. He was trying to scoop the life story of Escape. And to me, that is so, like, what a betrayal. What a betrayal. Like, whether or not he was the producer behind, Sex Dungeon Gate and Phaedra and Portia, that remains to be seen. But I believe what Kandi is saying. And I would never mess with anybody who did me dirty like that. Because the truth of the matter is, I bet you if Carlos King had actually just went to Kandi and said, hey girl, we've worked together on Atlanta, we worked together on your spinoff. Escape has a really great story. Let's partner up. Let's get together. And let's, pitch the story of Escape. Let's figure it out. I love to come on as a producer. I'd love to come on as an executive. Let's get together and do it, right? That would have been one situation. But to go behind her back and then try to manipulate her mother, that is so dirty. That is so grimy. That just kind of confirms, other whisperings that have been out there about Carlos King. That kind of confirms how we've all kind of been like, not to compare or pit against, but it's almost like, oh, Carlos is just Andy 2.0. And as problematic as Andy Cohen can be and has been, I don't think Andy Cohen has ever tried to steal the life rights or to steal the group rights of one of his talents. Andy might, party a little bit too much. The lines between, boss and employee might be blurred. He might have his favorites, but this is a different type of betrayal. This is a different type of level. And I don't mean to pit Andy against Carlos or compare the two, but the comparison is there, given that they are both executive producers at Bravo. Carlos is no longer at Bravo, but now he's essentially doing the same format over at OWN with his Love and Marriage franchise. So the comparison is there just inherently, right? So I'm team Kandi all the way on this one. Like, I just think it's so dirty and it's so grimy. And it also kind of just makes you remember to really watch your back. It's like how people were like, oh, Mariah Huq didn't have her paperwork together and now she wants to sue, blah, blah, Bravo, blah, 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 blah. No. You could be a businesswoman like Kandi. You could be a businesswoman like Mariah. And then you still have certain people in the industry that try and steal your idea and try and steal your concept, right? Mariah Huq, I'm guessing either her lawsuit, she won it, or she won a settlement and they didn't have to go to court because she hasn't talked about it and she still has, her executive producer credit. She still has concept by. So and we all know how about her business Kandi is. To me, this is just a reminder to everyone out there, whether you have an idea, a life story, a book, a movie, a TV show, a product, an innovation, whatever it is, protect it at all costs and really be careful with who you do business with. Because this is some snake-like behavior. Just be careful. And it's a little disheartening because even when you are business savvy, like Kandis or like Kandi, even when you have your paperwork in order, like Mariah, people still try to steal your stuff. So just keep your wits about you. So that's my piece on it. That's my sound off. But I want you guys to sound off. Put it down in the comment box. Do you believe Kandi or do you believe Carlos? Because Carlos has always said, oh, there's nothing wrong between me and Kandi. Me and Kandi are cool. Who do you believe, Kandi or Carlos? Do you think it was wrong for him to try and go behind her back to steal her life story and to steal the story of escape? Do you think it was wrong for them to target Mama Joyce and try to manipulate her into telling them exclusive content and exclusive stories? Let me know. Put it down in the chat box. But before you do, you know the drill. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live. Be sure to share this. Share this with a friend, anybody that likes pop culture, celebrity news, reality TV, or a good old conspiracy theory. Be sure to share. You can go ahead and support by hitting that super thanks if you want to. And check out everything in the description box below. We have a lot going on. So with that, you guys, take care of yourself and each other. I love you. Bye.
Welcome to Sugar Pills, a practical guide to self-care, where your host, writer, actor, and producer Kandi Washington helps you live a more joyful life with a cheeky dash of pop culture news. Be sure to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and join the conversation on Instagram at Kandi Washington. Let's go.